morning and welcome to Ireland AM, a show that at least one IMDB review has said has, quote, no major faults.
Major, that is. Minor, maybe.
Yeah, I shouldn't have written that. Coming up in sport, we're discussing Rory McIlroy's chances at the Irish Open and looking ahead to a busy day of action across the pond in the Premier League.
We'll be exploring the challenges of having a baby as a single and or queer person with a woman whose personal story has been adapted into a new Dublin Fringe show.
And fresh off her success in Paris, Katie George Dunlevy will be telling us what it's like to carry the weight of 8 Paralympic medals.
She must look like a rapper.
She must.
All the medals.
Herself and Snoop
How does she carry them around? That's the thing.
Anyway, with schools back in session, it can only mean the return of, are you getting ready to scratch your head? Headlice. We'll be looking at how to prevent and get rid of them a little later.
And following his historic win at the Emmys last Sunday, the Irish visual effects artist behind the award-winning series Shogun will be stopping by for a chat.
Can't wait. What a great show we've got lined up.
Now we'll have a first look at your morning paper, starting with the Irish Times, which goes with the headline, extra €3 billion in budget will boost housing. The paper reports that improved infrastructure to allow for more houses to be built will be covered in next month's budget, along with better water and energy services.
Front page of the Irish Independent goes with majority in Fine Gael expecting a November election in spite of Harris. The paper writes that several Fine Gael TDs, senators and general election candidates have said a November election is likely to be called soon after the budget on October 1st.
The Irish Examiner writes for its headline, €1,000 to risk life ingesting drugs. The paper shares the stories of people who have risked their lives by ingesting cocaine to smuggle the drug into Ireland on behalf of organised crime gangs for as little as €1,000.
On to the tabloids now. The Irish Daily Mail goes with Zelensky, stop delays and let us fire missiles into Russia. They write that the president of Ukraine yesterday demanded permission to fire long-range missiles into Russia as the latter continues to, quote, burn down our cities and villages.
The Irish Mirror leads with Ian Bailey is 100% innocent. The paper writes that Bailey's solicitor has blasted the Taoiseach's claim that the state failed to prosecute him for the murder of Sophie Toscan du Plantier.
The Herald writes for their front page, Kinahan hitman killed MMA star. The paper states that a hitman who once conspired to murder a rival to the Kinahan cartel has pleaded guilty to the murder of a well-known MMA fighter in Lithuania.
The Irish Star leads with I'm sorry, Da. The paper publishes jailed Liam Byrne's message to his father, gangster James Jaws Byrne, who has been laid to rest alongside his son David.
And finally, the Irish Sun goes with who done it. The paper writes that at a recent court hearing, farmer Joseph Baldwin denied flinging a bag of cow manure at Junior Minister Anne Rabbitte in what the paper calls the poo protest trial.
Now, love is in the air in Spain this week as a recent TikTok went viral for saying that the best place to meet people off the dating apps is at a chain market called Mercadona between the hours of 7 and 8 p.m, as that's when the singles supposedly come out to shop.
Now, to avoid any misunderstandings, singles looking to mingle were told to place a pineapple upside down in their trolley. You might think, surely no one would actually do that, but actually you'd be very wrong.
Oh, yeah. Putting down the dating apps, we want to know where you think is a good place to find romance. Is it in a club? Is it a bar? Or maybe it is the fruit and veg aisle at your local supermarket. Let us know. You can get us at WhatsApp 089 611 111.
I don't know about you, but I heard pineapples upside down means something completely different, especially if you're on a cruise ship.
Yes, it can be used as a code elsewhere also. Yeah.
Pineapples upside down on a cruise ship means what? The ship is sinking?
No, it means, let's say you want to mingle. If you're a couple and you like to mingle with another couple.
Swingers!
I wasn't going to say swingers. It's breakfast
I will.
television.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, so that's what I thought it was. So I don't know if you're going to... Imagine if there you are innocently going around Lidl in your trolley or in your local Aldi or your Super Value or your Tesco or your Dunnes Stores or your Super Value, getting everyone in.
I think she's covering them all.
Just in case. And there you are with your pineapple, which you want to slice and put on your delicious pizza. And then someone goes up, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Well,
and you don't even mean it. All you wanted was a piece of fruit.
I know,
you put the pineapple in your trolley and it fell and it wound up upside down. Is that what you mean?
Accidentally.
Accidentally, on purpose.
I have a big trolley full of stuff. It's easy. Oh, God, are you a neat supermarket trolley person?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, oh, God, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Just makes the whole thing much quicker.
And also, then you don't get mistaken for trying to hook up in a supermarket.
I don't know why you're looking at me. I've never tried to hook up in a supermarket.
Well, what time do you go shopping at?
I don't really do a lot of shopping,
Fair enough,
cooking things.
I
know it's not my thing.
This has gone absolutely viral, though, and it's caused some scenes in the Spanish supermarkets. There's been, groups of teenagers apparently going around with nothing else in their trolley except for an upside-down pineapple. There's been stag parties going in with the stag dressed as a pineapple, and the police were even called at one stage because it got a bit rowdy between 7 and 8 p.m.
But let's say if there's not an abundance of pineapple in this country, I mean, there is in supermarkets, but like what indigenous vegetable do you think we should push?
Oh my goodness. Like you can't really do an upside down potato. Oh, turnip is a good one. I like that.
Could you imagine?
An upside down turnip.
Upside down turnip. What do you think, Martin?
Yeah, turnips will work fine, I'm sure.
Parsnips?
I'm just quickly reading there. The staff are getting a bit miffed about all this
Yeah.
because apparently they're told before 7 o'clock have the pineapples off the shelves and back into the storeroom to try to avoid this from happening.
Is pineapple an aphrodisiac?
I have no
something?
idea. I know that it shouldn't be on pizza though.
Well, I was going to say that was their first mistake.
What?
That was their first
Pineapple
mistake.
and pizza is a blessed invention. I will not have any of that.
Well, live with
Say
it.
no more.
Sorry.
Anyway,
Say no
watch
more.
your pineapples are the right way up in your trolley, guys. That's all we'll say,
If
right?
you're buying a pineapple today, just don't buy it between 7 and 8 in your local supermarket.
You're very welcome back. We're always encouraged to buy local, and today we're meeting the minds behind 3 Irish businesses that got the support they needed from their communities. First up is Timea Kovac from The Best Free From. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning.
So tell us about your wonderful business.
So, well, basically, it's all started with a little bit of a health journey of mine and with a miscarriage, and that just made me to find my purpose. And so what I did is I created a range of products suitable for people who have diabetes, who have celiac disease, who they cannot have the ordinary. And so that's what I'm going to be taking to the ploughing.
Okay, so this is for the ploughing this year, of course. And setting up a business, of course, it's not that easy. There's many things you have to do. There's finance, there's advice, etc. and so forth. So how did you go about getting the support you needed?
So I got support from the local enterprise office, and I have to say I've been very, very lucky with my Roscommon brand. They were really, really good to me. They got the expansion. I got the expansion grant. I got mentoring support. I got loads of trainings through them. So I can highly recommend it to everybody to reaching out to their local enterprise office for the support they offer.
And of course, this is great for the small businesses if you want to set up, if you want to do something a little different, because we can see the array of products you have there. And as you said, there's so many people who can't have various things, be it gluten, be it wheat, etc. and so forth. So these are very, very simple. And from these packages here, this is what you can make, and it's all quite simple.
That's exactly, they're quite simple. And then why The Best Free From is a unique brand, because we didn't just take out stuff, we actually were very conscious of putting in the nice stuff, what we need in our diet. So they're all free from soya, wheat, grain, preservatives and artificial stuff for fillers, but they're high on protein, healthy fats and fibre. So that's
protein, healthy fats and fibre. Excellent. Now, you're going to be at the Ploughing Championships this year as well, which is hugely exciting. It is the biggest event of the year for so many people. So tell us all about that.
So I can't wait, and it's definitely one of the biggest opportunities a small business could have. So I'm hoping to see everybody there. There we have loads to sample and loads of special offers. And you can find us in the Enterprise Village.
Yeah, the Enterprise Village, and you'll be there along with a load of other people as well.
Exactly, from all 30 other businesses.
Yeah. I'm looking at all these now. Brownie baking tray mix. So when you do this, you can just literally put it in the bowl.
This is the easiest one.
The easiest one. How did I pick the easiest one? That's very...
So
Steph Martin's laughing at me now. So you just literally add your wet ingredients to this and off you go.
This is a 1 bowl and 1 spoon sort of thing. I have a 5-year-old who's valuable to make this. So you just add in your water and you add in the fat you choose. It could be Irish butter or it could be coconut oil if you wanted to keep it dairy free. Mix this in, put it in the oven, 23 minutes, and you can enjoy your brownie.
Okay, so grain-free, wheat-free, keto-friendly and low-carb. I like it. I can manage this myself, I'd say. Thank you so much for
Thank you so much for having me.
But that's not all we have. Shiva, what else have you got over there?
Yes, next up we have Lisa Gifford from Leitrim Hill Creamery. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning to you.
So talk to us, what is Leitrim Hill Creamery?
Leitrim Hill Creamery is the only creamery in Leitrim. The others have all been torn down, and they kind of laughed when I wanted to build a creamery. But it's an old hay barn that we turned into an authentic, agriculturally approved, health department approved creamery.
Oh my God, I love that. And talk to us about the products that you're making, because it's cheeses, but it's not just cheeses.
No, the firstborn in our creamery was Connacht Troma, which is a pure goat cheese. The second born was a mixed milk cheese, cow and goat. not many mixed milk cheeses in Ireland.
Okay.
And it's a seasonal business. The whole thing is seasonal. And then we have our aged goat. And this is our newest product, which is goat fetish, which is skimmed milk. We use the cream for making the ice cream, which I'll get to. And then this is in olive oil, Greek olive oil, with herbs from the polytunnel. All natural.
Yes, so you try to use local ingredients as well, is that right?
And we forage for flavors for our ice cream.
Now, I'm going to get to the ice cream in a second because there's a flavour there that I want to try. But can I ask, you were talking there about local. Is yours a local Leitrim accent, Lisa?
No, I was born in New York, and my grandmother came from Manor Hamilton. My grandfather actually worked on the Hamilton Castle as a boy, as a blacksmith, and then he went to New York. They both went to New York. I first came over here in the 60s, and I fell in love with Ireland. And I thought maybe someday I can have a little piece of this to honor those people who sadly had to leave and never experienced the beauty and friendliness and wonder that's here in Ireland.
And you're back here since 2016, isn't that right?
Yes.
And you found your little piece of heaven, did you?
I found my little piece of heaven and I got a couple of goats.
In lovely Leitrim as well. So the one that I wanted to try was gooey goat. Talk about this flavour, gooey goat ice cream.
Gooey goat. This is goat milk, which is separated from its cream, and it is a caramel sauce on that. And our ice creams are all pure. There's no, well, right now we can't sell we can sell it in shops, but we're a little bit limited because we don't have a stabilizer in the ice cream.
Okay.
This is pure ice cream and milk, cream, milk, sugar, eggs, egg yolks.
Do you know what it is? It's pure delicious is what it is, Lisa. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then you were mentioning that what's this ingredient?
This is the bog myrtle. And this ice cream here is bog myrtle with a wild berry swirl. And the other one is chocolate with wild mint.
I might have to try every single one of them, Lisa, because they're looking at me, they're calling my name. Beautiful, fresh ingredients. Where can people find out about your products?
We have a store in Leitrim Hill, in Carrick-on-Shannon. It's called the Hidden Corner Cheese Shop.
Okay.
We now have a website, and we're also at the Manor Hamilton Market and the Sligo Market on Saturdays.
Gorgeous, Lisa. Thank you so much. Now I'm going to have all of this ice cream. Martin, what is up next?
All right. Lastly, we have Thierry from Le Paysan Artisan Food. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Wicklow has become home, but this is the brand. This is Le Paysan.
Yes.
Tell us about it, how it started.
So Le Paysan started in 1996 when I arrived in Ireland.
Okay.
So it was a restaurant delicatessen in Greystone, and I was doing classic French dishes, dessert and charcuterie. So more recently I've moved to Wicklow town, and I do a range of scrumptious pâté. So there's a chicken liver there.
Yeah, you have to have the chicken liver pâté. Yeah, go
yes.
on. What else?
The smoked mackerel pâté, smoked salmon pâté, pork rillette, and a tuna pâté.
Okay.
And they're all made using local ingredients.
Okay, so it's Irish ingredients,
Yes.
but French recipes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're going to do pâté, you know, as the Prophet George Michael says, if you're going to do it right.
Yes.
And you've certainly done that. So this started in 1996.
Yes.
So what kind of support did you get from your local enterprise?
So I got a lot of support in terms of, especially to set up the pâté business, in terms of business plan, grants for the setup and the expansion, and a lot of support as well in terms of training and monitoring and of course more recently I've been selected to be part of the local enterprise village in the ploughing. So
okay, so it's going to be a busy week for you.
It's very busy, very exciting.
Busy.
Yeah.
What have you brought with us? Because I'm looking at all kinds of goodness here.
So I've done a potato salad there.
Okay.
With because fish pâté in particular, the smoked mackerel and the smoked salmon could be used mixed in a potato salad, for example.
Because normally when I see pâté, it's coming like this,
yes,
on a bit of a cracker. Whereas you've decided it's going in here.
It's lovely in there as well, like in.
So
it's a potato, onion dressing, and a pot of mackerel pâté there, and it's a nice fishy salad.
Oh yeah.
And and I've got them on crackers as well. So that's the classic way, easy way to do it. You could have them on toast.
Mm-hmm. I don't want to say the word yes because there's still a good 15 weeks, we're good 14 or 15 weeks to go. But you can get them as presents as well.
You can, yes, and they're available in retailers all over Ireland and through my website, lepaysan.ie as well. So.
Okay. We wish you well, and we thank you for coming to see us today.
Thank you.
Okay, we're getting well fed today. After the break, we meet the young playwright hoping to challenge the status quo around Irish parenthood. We'll see you for that in just a few minutes.
Fáilte Rash. Dublin Fringe is well underway, and among the vital stories being told on stages across the city is a new dark comedy about baby envy.
Penned by playwright Leanna O'Hara, the play Baby explores the ethics of baby making and the desire to have a child. Leanna joins us now to discuss. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. So tell us about this play. What was the inspiration behind it?
So the play is called Baby. It's a one-woman show with Aisling O'Mara, who's a brilliant actor, and the character Camilla is a single woman in her 30s who's desperate to have a baby, but she's trying to figure out how. And while she's taking the audience through their journey, she's also baking a cake on stage.
Okay, so that's kind of a metaphor for trying to the bun in the oven kind of thing going on there.
I get it. Yes, exactly. And the inspiration is mostly, like, I'm also in my 30s, and a lot of my friends are in their 30s having babies. I feel like, at this stage, like, everyone around me is having babies, and there's an expectation as well, or a kind of pressure to have a baby. And I think I wanted to write this play to kind of explore the ethics around baby making and fertility and, like, different options.
Of course.
It's become an industry, for want of a better phrase, here in Ireland, for a for-profit industry. Let us
100%.
Do you think sometimes that vulnerable women are taken a bit advantage of in that?
Maybe, because it is, like, it's very targeted marketing, of course, like the ads that I get on my phone as well. And I think it's interesting because since last year now there is publicly funded IVF, but there wasn't before. So of course it's all these companies competing with each other. And you're also made to feel you're made to feel pressured, and you're made to feel as if you have to do it, and you have to do it right now. And so different clinics are offering, like, competitive rates, which is a bit odd. And the character is, like, exploring that as well, when you can go to a place where you can get Botox and fertility treatments.
Goodness, one-stop shop.
It's a bit scary, isn't it?
But you mentioned there the publicly funded IVF. Now, this is, of course, only announced last year, but it's also only available for the eligible couples, but single parents and queer couples are not included under this scheme. So how does that make someone like you feel?
I think it's really good that there is publicly funded IVF. I think it should have been introduced a long time ago, but I would like to see it be more inclusive, because I think it's 2024. There's a lot of women who choose to be single mothers, like, they're single mothers by choice. And also, like, non-heterosexual couples, why would they not deserve publicly funded IVF? Like, why can't it be made more equal?
But I suppose for many people, if you want to have a baby, even if, as a single mother, a single parent, it can be, I suppose, relatively straightforward thing to do if you're fertile, if you have someone willing to partner up with you, and if the sperm is there, let's cause. But as a queer woman, it's not that simple for you, really, is it? You'll have to go down that route, really.
Because you need sperm.
Yeah.
One way.
Unless cloning isn't very ethical in this day and age, so I don't think that would happen.
Is that possible?
No, unless they're Jolly the sheep. But but it is quite difficult if you do want to go down the road. So the notion of family has changed so much.
Yeah, I think it's like that's one of the things that the character explores in the play as well. Is like, she's single and she's like, okay, so how do I ask somebody to be a donor? Do I go to a sperm bank? Do I just pick somebody up in a pub and see what happens? Because I think the play explores that. It's like, you think that it's relatively straightforward if you're fertile, but actually it's not. Because is it ethical to then to just take somebody home and don't tell them? Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of but it approaches that with humour as well. It's a dark comedy, so it's also quite funny.
Yes.
So I'm being kept out of rehearsals, which is interesting.
You're being kept out of rehearsals? Oh, the director's booted you out the door.
Yeah, but he's very good, so I trust him. No, I fully trust him, and the actor as well. But I saw a first run through of the play last Thursday, and it was really nice. I felt like at the end of it, I felt very satisfied for the character, which was interesting because obviously I wrote the play, but it's still and there were a lot of laughs from the other people in the room. So
that actually must be quite satisfying, you know. But so you wrote this based on your own personal experiences. Talking about the kind of the peer or societal pressure there is for women our ages to have babies.
I think it's kind of like the expectation on us is still the same, which is at some point you partner up, you have a baby, you have a house, but society doesn't really allow for these things to happen in such a straightforward manner anymore. It's not that easy, and I think especially in terms of career, it's not possible to be okay, I'll just pause my career for 2 years, and then it's that's not how it works anymore because life is so fast-paced. So I think as well, it's kind of reassuring for me that a lot of women that I've met lately are in their late 30s or in their 40s, and they're deciding to have a baby at a later stage than what would be expected or something.
Biologically, though, it's not that straightforward because unfortunately your fertility does fall off a cliff at a certain age for your women. We're not as lucky as the fellas over 35. It's deemed a geriatric pregnancy and it's more difficult to get pregnant and have that. But because, I suppose, do you think because of the fact that there is career and if you're not coupled up and people are coupling up and maybe deciding to have pregnancies later and later and later, that the options just aren't open to us?
Yes, I think it's wild that it's called a geriatric pregnancy from 35.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
I'm ancient. Yeah, I think thoughts around it are slowly shifting, and also around different ways of parenting, away from your typical nuclear family of father, mother, 2 children, and I think that's really good. But there's still quite a long way to go. Yeah. And I think that's one of the things I wanted to do with this play is it's only a vignette into all the different possibilities. It's only one character, it's just her journey. But I do hope that it gives an insight to what different possibilities there are.
And I'm sure that message will resonate with a lot of women who go and see the show. Leanna, thank you so much for coming and chatting to us today.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks.
A reminder that Leanna's play Baby is running from September 17th to the 21st at the New Theatre in Dublin's Temple Bar as part of the Dublin Fringe Festival, and tickets are available at fringefest.com.
And if you've been affected by any of the issues raised in Leanna's story, you can find support at virginmediatelevision.ie/helplines.
Now, still to come, we'll be catching up with one of Ireland's returning Paralympic athletes and sampling a cheeky risotto in the kitchen. I love that for us. We'll see you after the break.
Back before I quit my practice.
You're a lawyer.
Doctor, listen, you have to come and visit.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah? Yeah. Done.
It's so quiet around here. Don't even have any neighbors.
Hey, you made it.
Welcome, welcome.
Very good. Dad?
Remember that time you guys came to stay? You flipped out and tried to leave without saying goodbye?
Welcome back to Ireland AM. It's good to see you. It's been too long. It's been a whole commercial break.
I know. How did you manage without us? Now, coming up fresh off her success at the Paris Paralympics, 8-time gold medalist Katie George Dunlevy will be chatting to us.
The schools are back open for business, which unfortunately means outbreaks of...
Oh, no.
Headlice. Yeah. We'll have advice on how to prevent the spread and how to treat your child's hair if they manage to pick it up.
Which they will if it's in the
Of course
school.
they will, yeah.
And we'll be chatting to the talented Irish visual effects artist just back from the Emmys in LA, where he took home the top prize for his work on the hit series Shogun.
And Shiva looked thrilled with herself over in the kitchen. What's cooking, Shiva?
Thrilled is absolutely right, guys. My vegetarian heart is singing as Chef Martin O'Donnell is cooking for us in the kitchen this morning. What's on the menu, Martin?
I've got a lovely late summer courgette risotto with some courgette bhaji's and some lovely Canuck Litroma goat's cheese that was lated. It was just here.
I love that you're still calling it late summer.
It is summer, it is. Look at the guys out in the garden, how beautiful and sunny it was.
It does, doesn't it?
We're
Okay.
holding on to summer.
We're holding on to summer here in studio. Okay, excellent. Can't wait to taste that. But
Now we'll have another check on your morning paper, starting with the Irish Times, which goes with the headline, extra €3 billion in budget will boost housing. The paper reports that improved infrastructure to allow for more houses to be built will be covered in next month's budget, along with better water and energy services.
Front page of the Irish Independent leads with majority in Fine Gael expecting a November election in spite of Harris. The paper writes that several Fine Gael TDs, senators and general election candidates have said a November election is likely to be called soon after the budget on October 1st.
The Irish Examiner writes for its headline, €1,000 to risk life ingesting drugs. The paper writes that vulnerable people are risking their lives by ingesting cocaine to smuggle the drug into Ireland on behalf of organised crime gangs for as little as €1,000.
Onto the tabloids now, and the Irish Daily Mail goes with Zelensky. Stop delays and let us fire missiles into Russia. They write that the president of Ukraine yesterday demanded permission to fire long-range missiles into Russia as the latter continues to, quote, burn down our cities and villages.
The Irish Mirror leads with Ian Bailey is 100% innocent. The paper writes that Bailey's solicitor has blasted the Taoiseach's claim that the state failed to prosecute him for the murder of Sophie Toscan de Plantier.
The Herald writes for their front page, Kinahan hitman killed MMA star. The paper states that a hitman who once conspired to murder a rival to the Kinahan cartel has pleaded guilty to the murder of a well-known MMA fighter in Lithuania.
The Irish Star leads with I'm sorry, Da. The paper publishes jailed Liam Byrne's message to his father, gangster James Jaws Byrne, who has been laid to rest alongside his son David.
And finally, the Irish Sun goes with Who Done It? The paper writes that at a recent court hearing, farmer Joseph Baldwin denied flinging a bag of cow manure at Junior Minister Anne Rabbitte in what the paper calls the poo protest trial.
now, guys, something I was looking at this week. So there's no need for a vote anymore. The American election has already been decided because Taylor Swift has endorsed Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Right.
She was always going to endorse Kamala.
I know, I just thought, yeah. Well, look, she's come out and said it now, and the Harris campaign apparently had no idea. They had no pre-warning she was going to do it, but they've hopped on it now, and they have created merchandise. So Harris Wall's friendship bracelets, obviously a Swift reference, for $20. They have completely sold out. And they also now have a big outdoor advertising saying, we're in our Kamala era, which is, of course, a reference to Taylor Swift's Eras tour. And
I love the way she did it, though. She said from a crazy cat lady.
Childless
cat lady.
Cat
Yes.
lady.
That was
yeah.
after Vance said what he said.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Of course, Vance being the vice
childless
presidential
cat people
candidate.
don't have any real value
Yeah.
when it comes to elections.
I know.
Bad move.
Yeah.
Very, very bad.
As if they haven't got a vote, a person, a piece anyway. So this is the second time I feel like Kamala Harris and her campaign have like hopped on this kind of pop culture reference trend. She did the Brat Summer thing and now she's doing the Taylor Swift thing. I just don't know how I feel about it. I think it's a bit like, I think just to separate the two, you know? They're trying to get in with the TikTokers.
Do you think?
Do you not?
No, I'm not. I don't know. I mean, if you've got a big endorsement, I mean, look at it. Like, what did they say? Politics is entertainment for the unattractive. I don't know. I don't believe in that, by the way. I'm just saying that's what they're saying.
You
It's
said
like, but you know, it's all in one. I mean, it's all who's popular, who's not. It's not about whose policies are better. It's who wins the public over. And if you're going to win the public over with someone like Taylor Swift, I mean, they're going to do it. I mean, even look in this country. I mean, it's all about who gets the best soundbite, who gets the best press coverage. It's not necessarily about policy anymore. So it's all spin and showbiz.
Yeah,
all spin and showbiz.
Yeah, well, but Taylor kind of making that
Yes.
mention that she's going to be voting for Kamala
Yes.
Harris. Yeah, of course, she's got a lot of followers.
Yeah, that's half the battle, so is it?
283 million.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Now, not
Okay.
all of them are American, not all of them have a vote, but those that have may be
A
inclined
lot of her
to-
boyfriend's followers, I'd say, might be of the Trump persuasion, though, because, of course, he's a major footballer in the States as well. So I would imagine that's not going down too well.
Do you think there might be a little bit of a discussion over dinner?
Yeah,
A
maybe,
bit of an
maybe
argument.
not. I could be completely
There
wrong.
could be a new
I
album on the way,
frequently am.
folks.
I frequently am. I frequently am very wrong.
Okay. Pokemon cards, were they ever a thing?
Yeah, they would have been when I was a child.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Primary school.
I'm obsessed with Pokemon.
Are you?
Yeah, love them.
Okay. Well, so you know that they are.
Hugely, hugely expensive now.
Yes. Well, a couple of guys decided in Osaka in Japan, after hearing that there was a trading card shop that contained some very expensive Pokemon cards, to just go in and say, right, show us the expensive cards, and stole close on $70,000 or about €65,000 worth of Pokemon cards. But they held the staff at knife point and got the staff to tell them which were the cards worth stealing. And off they went. 65 grand's worth they took and left the shop.
Do we know which Pokemon were on the cards?
It depends.
Well, I want to know who were the pricey ones now.
It depends on when they were printed, how many of them were there, and some of the, for want of a better phrase, the shiny ones are really
the
good.
holographic kind of
Yeah,
ones.
some of them are really good, and if they like.
Let's take a look at one of them, because now this isn't one of the cards that was stolen, but this is the holographic Charizard card. You see?
The holographic one, Charizard. Is
that
excellent.
is worth somewhere in the region of about 330, 340,000 euro.
Charizard
And
would be
here
an
we've
evolved
got
Pokemon.
And here we've got a holographic Pokemon card, which they say would fetch in and around 228 to
Pikachu, of
230,000 euro.
I lost hours of my life on, days, weeks, years.
But you remember the app on your phone? People were nearly
Pokemon
walking
Go.
into cars.
Mine was stolen. I went to Thailand and I played Pokemon Go in Thailand and someone stole all my Pokemon.
No.
And you wouldn't mind, I had 2 evolved Gyaradoses and 2 Snorlaxes, and anyone who knows Pokemon knows how long that takes to do. It's very hard to find a Snorlax, so I had to give it up then. I was very upset.
Sounds like a victimless crime to me. I don't know.
I'm such, I swear to God, I do have a life sometimes. Okay, I do like cats and Pokemon and Star Trek, but no, that's fine. And my nerd credentials are strong.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If anybody has seen Elaine's Snorlax, could you let us know?
Yeah.
And we'll try and get it back.
Now, I do have to say one thing that is way more normal for me than anything else I've been talking about in the last couple of minutes. My nephew, Fintan, he is going to be playing with his team from Kilcullen in a big blitz today in County Kildare. Sarsfield GAA Club in Newbridge, they're holding this under-8 blitz. It's very important, this under-8 blitz, because his teams from all over the country are going to be there, and Finty is playing it with his team from Kilcullen. So best of luck, Fintan. I hope you smash it. He's in goals and he's brilliant. He's a fine goalie, so
good luck,
Kick out like
massive
pinpoint.
Oh
pinpoint.
my God, he's a great
Radar.
goalie like his daddy.
Yeah.
Right.
I will say Sarsfields is in Lucan though, not Newbridge, but anyway.
There you go. Okay.
They could be 2 Sarsfields.
It's right beside each other.
Well, that's
We
what
will
I've been
look it
told.
up. We will look it up. Best
That's
of
what
luck,
I've been
Fintan.
told.
George
Wherever
inquiry
you
going
are.
on during the break. All
I'm
right.
going to get a phone call from my brother now. He's going to kill me. Anyway, after the break, we're about to have a lot of risotto in the kitchen. Oh my God, I feel like the witches of Eastwick. See you in a few. You're very welcome back. Now, we do love a good brunch here in Ireland DM, and no one makes them better than Martin O'Donnell from Blackrock Cottage.
Absolutely. What's on today's menu, Martin?
We got a lovely organic courgette risotto with courgette bhaji's and some lovely goat cheese that the ladies had earlier on with us.
Oh, you robbed some.
I robbed some shit.
So you've modified your
I asked nicely. I think it'd be nice to support those lovely farmers that are working so hard. So I'm going to make a really simple risotto, and at the moment, courgettes are banging season. Like if you go to your local place, your local farmer's market, courgettes, cherry tomatoes, kales, all of those are just everywhere at the moment.
Fabulous.
So it's such a simple recipe. Here I have some onion and garlic, and in it goes, and our bay leaf. So we're going to start...
Interesting.
Bay leaf, yeah. So it's the same with every risotto. Now, I know the purists will say you have to stand there and stir it. And
Yes. You not?
if I'm at home, not really. No, honestly, I don't.
Time for that.
Huh?
Who has time to be stirring it?
Well, that's
What's
it.
the alternative?
So what we'll get to is kind of when you have your risotto and you have your recipe and you have a litre of stock to put in.
Okay.
If you put in half, you can definitely walk away for 3 or 4 minutes. But when it starts to come down drier, then you can spend a bit more time with it.
Okay.
Yeah. So with our courgettes, I've cut both of them into little bite-sized pieces, and I'm just going to roast them in the oven. Little bit of oil, so literally just chop them up all the same size, and in they go. We have our onions and shallot and garlic, and in with our rice.
Okay.
Nice and simple. And we're just going to coat that rice for a couple of seconds. It kind of toasts it, coats the butter in it, and all of that good stuff. And here I have courgette. So again, just literally through the grater. Nothing fancy. It's about a half of one here. Just turn that down.
Where's your courgette from?
Angari Glossi, Connemara. It's a small little veg shop on the main road in Connemara on the way to Rossaville, and they've got a lovely farm shop on the edge of the thing, so absolutely beautiful. But you can use any. Yeah. Just going in with a drop of white wine, any white wine.
Any white wine, or does it have to be like semi-good?
Has to be good.
Okay.
Has to be good. Again, what you put in is what you're going to get out. We're just going to let that reduce.
Yes.
So back to my courgettes. Okay. I have some onion powder, teaspoon.
Oh, there we go.
Powder from the fridge. Cumin, garlic powder, and ras el hanout. Ras el hanout.
What now?
Ras el hanout.
Okay.
It's like a fancy curry powder, essentially. Okay. So it's curry, there's cumin, there's ginger. So
could you sub it for curry powder?
Of course you could, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and you might add in a little bit of cumin, coriander if you wanted. And this one is
flavours in there.
Exactly. So it's like, this is going to be a bhaji. So it's like an Indian.
What was the final thing you threw in there?
Gram flour.
Oh, that's gram flour.
Yeah,
okay,
so
great.
gram flour is
flour?
It's naturally vegan and gluten-free. Oh. So see how simple that's a grated courgette.
Yeah.
Whatever spices you have, really, it doesn't have to be the exact ones that I have in here. Your gram flour and a little bit of salt. So into our hot oil. So again. Just with these, I'm making them quite flat because I want them to cook quickly.
Yes.
But like when you get them from the takeaway, they are kind of quite big-ish, kind of ball size. And we'll just drop them in.
What kind of oil you're cooking them in there, Martin?
Just normal vegetable oil, plain and simple, yeah. 170, 180.
I'm actually shocked by how simple that was, that recipe.
That's what I mean. It's just the grated courgette, yeah?
You can make that now the next time we're having lunch.
Brunch. We're making it tonight. Trying to come on over.
Brunch is not in the evenings, in the morning time. You have to do it straight after work.
So with our risotto, this one has been cooking for about 15, 16 minutes this morning, and it's getting to that kind of just dry stage. So I'm going to just turn that one back on again.
Because with risotto, though, it can go either way very, very quickly, so you do have to be careful.
And that's it. It's just coming towards the end of the liquid amount. You're starting to put less and less, and you're starting to just have a little taste. Just going to check our lovely roasted courgettes. So these are the bite-sized pieces of courgettes that we...
A bit of crunch and texture.
Exactly. So we're just going to add some of them in.
Had you put salt and pepper on them?
I had salt and pepper on them, yeah. And we're just going to bump that up again to full power. So we have our risotto, we have our roasted courgettes. Just going to check our little bhajis. So you can just see there that they're still a little bit pale.
Okay.
And we're just going to leave them down again for another couple of seconds.
Oh, the aromas are absolutely amazing.
I love finishing risotto with a tiny bit of butter.
Sorry, tiny?
Just tiny.
Tiny, did you see that?
It's a very healthy recipe.
No, sorry, I'm not complaining, but don't say tiny if you're putting in half the thing of butter.
Only
a little bit of stock. Because I'm actually not going to use cream in the recipe. And we're just going to try and get that butter melted into it. And I've fresh dill and fresh parsley here, just nicely chopped up. And again, just mix everything through. You get that lovely green, the yellow courgettes. You could put some lovely cherry tomatoes in there at the moment.
That would be yum, actually, the sweetness.
And then, now we've got some lovely goat's cheese.
Yes.
Our local
so you're just
Leo
Enterprise.
That in. So I'm just going to pop some in. It's lovely and soft and creamy. So again, that's probably been at room temperature for half an hour since the ladies were here this morning.
Yes.
So it's that lovely temperature.
Yeah. So it's better to do that rather than straight from the fridge, obviously, because it just melts that little bit easier.
And the flavour is more intense. Yeah. And I love great goat's cheese, and this one is. So you can see our little bhajis. We'll just pop them out onto our little tray.
That's great.
So easy.
Yeah.
So easy. And such a lovely way. You could use your onions, you could use parsnips, you can use carrots, parsnips.
So just grate whatever veg you have that you want to use and bang it in. Fantastic.
Spice it up nicely with whatever even spices you have in the press. It doesn't have to, as long as like pakora, bhaji is that Indian style. So I love to kind of keep that authentic Indian style. So we have our bhaji, so we're going to plate up. We'll just give them a little touch of salt. And
is that just a little bit of sea salt?
Tiny bit of sea salt. Lovely. Fresh. So we have our lovely summer courgette risotto with the local ghost cheese, and it is quite healthy. I know there was a little bit of butter at the end.
No, I wasn't judging it. Right?
You were judging it a
I
small
welcome
bit.
butter. I really do.
You're roasting me.
And so with the ghost cheese, is that supposed to melt through, or do you want lumps
And it
of
will, and kind of both, Shiva. So I'm going to just actually pop another little bit on top, so you can kind of get all that.
And was
lovely
ghost cheese part of the plan, or did you add that this morning?
No, it was. I have one here beside me from another farm in County Clare.
He said while it was here, and it was fresh. And
Yeah, it was nice. The Leo Enterprise were here, so kind of support all the guys. So we have some lovely herbs as well, because these radish and maizuna give some more texture and flavour. And then we have our little bhaji's on top.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
And these.
Does that look fabulous, or does it look fabulous? I'm obsessed.
Simple brunch, ladies.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much.
Summer courgette risotto.
This looks fabulous.
With courgette bhaji's and local.
No.
You can have it all then.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring, you know.
So
The dill actually really comes through, doesn't it?
I love the dill.
I think it's such a lovely, simple way of using courgettes, because some people just roast the living daylights or find it hard to use them. But I think in that way they're bestest. They're
We
fresh.
do massacre vegetables sometimes in this.
Yeah, we do.
Boil them
We
to
do.
jizz.
And
Yeah.
Martin, those pakoras are amazing. Oh my goodness.
And so simple. Grated spices, gram flour.
This
It's
is
so
absolutely
good.
delicious.
Yeah, we're going to need a moment, guys. Martin, thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
That
much,
was amazing.
ladies.
Full recipe details are up on our website, or you can, of course, visit Martin over at Blackrock Cottage anytime you want to.
Martin will actually be back a little later with a second bout of cookery. Lucky us. But after the break, we're catching up with one of Ireland's Paris Paralympic champions. We'll see you then.
You're very welcome back to Ireland AM. Between the Olympics and the Paralympics, it's fair to say that Ireland has had a golden summer of sport.
We've been spoiled, but in the nicest way. Among the superstars at the forefront of our success is Katie George Dunlevy, who has brought home a trove of medals and in the process cemented herself as one of Ireland's greatest Paralympians.
Fresh from Paris, Katie George joins us now. Katie George, thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me, guys. Morning.
Good morning. My God, what an absolutely amazing achievement. This is your third Paralympic cycle. Does it ever get old?
No, every Paralympic Games is different and very, very special, and it's a journey in itself to get there, and very incredibly hard to get there as well. So, no, it never gets old.
No, you take nothing for granted. Not
at all.
Not in these games. Winning that first medal, though, was first medal at Paris. Was it like winning the first medal? Full stop.
It is actually in many ways, yeah. Every medal is really, really hard to get, and it was on the track with Eve, the silver medal, and you know I got the gold with Linda there, but the first medal there I got in Paris was with Eve in the pursuit, and we were really up against it. We had three GB bikes, which were Paralympic champions and world champions, and it was really up against us. And to get that silver medal, we still actually can't believe it. It was actually just the thing of dreams, and especially for myself and Eve, you know, the last race together after the journey and the career we've had together. It was really special.
Yeah, so it felt like a perfect finish.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm delighted for Eve to, for her to retire with a medal, and just that journey and that like I said, that career we've had together, it's been really special. It's lots of highs, lots of lows, but to come away with a medal on our last race together was really special, and it was a really, really hard medal to get. I think we were saying it was the best race we've done, so to finish on a high like that, it's brilliant.
The paracycling event requires you to have a pilot. How important is your relationship with both Eve and Linda in that, to give us a bit of context for our viewers?
Oh, it's really important. I'm partially sighted. I sit on the back, so I have to have full trust in the pilot who's steering the bike in front, controlling the gears. And on the track bike, you have no gears, there's no brakes, but they're controlling the bike, and we could be going 60 plus 70 kilometres per hour on the track, and we go 80, 90 on the road. So I have to have full trust in them, and we're actually both pushing, we're both giving our all and giving everything we can in each race. They train full time, and I do as well. And both our powers pushing that bike together forward. So yeah, that trust is important. It's a team. It's just a team. It's a team sport. So we just, even though we might be away from each other at times, training on our own individually, we're in contact with each other, and we're kind of supporting each other on and off the bike. So that relationship is very important.
Yeah, it is massively important, and it's all about synchronisation as well. As we saw, because a foot comes out of a pedal clip, and all of a sudden everything changes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You have some really times where it's challenging, and one might be having a bad day, or one might make maybe a mistake on the bike, but you're both in it together. So you just you have to just support each other and know that things do sometimes go wrong, and it's okay for that to happen. And it's just to support each other that way, and it's that team's element of things, supporting each other. Like you're stronger together, not on your own. It's not an individual sport, so you are stronger together. And when it comes to the races, you are different people as well. So some people like to talk before a race and some don't. So it's just knowing that person and knowing how to get the best out of that person and supporting each other.
So are you the talker?
No, I'm pretty quiet in general. When it comes to the races, I actually find if I'm actually kind of happy, enjoying myself, I get the best out of myself. So I kind of just be a bit silly. But, Eve might be a bit more serious. And so I know how she is, and Linda still learning what she's like. But she's very quiet as well. So we're kind of just like doing our own thing. But I just find myself, if I'm enjoying what I'm doing, I always get the best out of myself. And I kind of make out that it's not actually a big thing, it's only a race. Yeah. And I just need to think, do what I've done before. So,
like success that you've had, it does not come overnight. You were just 11 when you were diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa. I mean, over the years, you faced many, many obstacles. Bring us through that and how you got from there to where you are now.
Yeah, so I was just at a routine eye operation at the opticians with my parents when I was 11 years old, and they told my parents that they think that I had this eye condition. So we went to Moorfields Eye Hospital in London, and I was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa, which is a eye condition that just affects the retina on the back of the eye. So I've got no peripheral vision. I've only got central vision, and the central vision I have is reducing. I haven't got great acuity, and I haven't got great depth of perception, and also my colour and vision is affected, and that will slowly go down. But it's been very stable since I was diagnosed. So luckily, I have still got quite a bit of vision. I'm very independent, but at the same time, I am kind of living with sight loss. And I look at always the positives. I'm on the back of a tandem. I wouldn't be representing Ireland on the back of a tandem if I wasn't visually impaired and have the success I have. So I always look at. I'm always a very optimistic person. So from there, I was moved to, my parents sent me to a special school and for the blind and visually impaired. And I didn't actually understand what was happening at the time. I didn't realise I was only 11 years old. Yeah. And I just thought I could see the same as everyone else. I didn't want the support that was given to me. I moved school, which I didn't want, but actually it's how I got into sport, and I was encouraged by my PE teacher. And that's when I started doing competitive sports when I was 13, 14, 15. And then it led on to other sports when I was a later teenager, 17, 18. And then from then I got into rowing when I was at university. And from there I started cycling in 2011.
It's, you took the long journey to cycling, but we're glad you got there,
yes.
Katie George.
Yeah, I started actually, I was just about to turn 30 when I started cycling.
Oh my God.
That's absolutely so amazing. It's a kind of really, I think it's just a great thing for people to see, because you can just do things at any age. Age is a number. So I started competing, full time and representing Ireland when I was 30. And do you know what? Age is a number. So I'm 42 now, and I'm up against 20 and 30-year-olds. So I think it's just it's a great thing, and just to show people that you can do anything at any age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, 42 and still competing at the highest level. We will ask the question, are you going to put the bike away, or are you just going to spend some time enjoying the success you've had in Paris?
I'm going to just enjoy this for now, have a bit of downtime. I've got the World Championships next week in Zurich with Linda and Eve and Josie are competing as well. So we have that to get through first. Yeah. Yeah. And then I will have some downtime. I do need some downtime. It's been a really challenging particularly year. I've had injury and illness, so I need to have some downtime. It's going to be very important that I do that, and then I'm going to assess. But I'm going to actually give myself a year to even decide. I'm not going to pressurise myself at all. I think in a year's time I'll know if I want to carry on or not. So I'll give myself that year.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, we're sitting here with fingers crossed underneath these tablets. We decide to carry on.
Oh my goodness.
Now, you should have been here in studio, but you're zooming into us today because you got struck by the dreaded COVID at the moment. So, I mean, that's another health challenge. So you cut your celebration short slightly, I would imagine.
Yeah, I started to feel unwell a few days ago, and I thought it was exhaustion from all the races. I had 6 races in Paris, and mentally and physically, it's huge toll on the body. But yeah, no, I got COVID, so one of the lucky ones. So I'm just resting and trying to get rid of that so I can get back training for the World Championships next week.
We absolutely need that to happen. Yeah, we need you in tip-top form when next week comes calling.
That's right, yeah.
Just with your personal life, you came out, shall we say, late in life. Is that a regret, or are you glad you waited?
I don't see it as regret. I just see that's just what happened. That's part of my story. Yeah, I came out late. You know, some people even come out later than that. That's just when I came out. And before that, I was kind of in denial. I didn't know, you know, I didn't see it anywhere. And, you know, it wasn't visible for me. So I just thought it's not normal for me to be this way. But since coming out, it was a huge weight off my shoulders. My family were amazing. So it was just a huge change in my life. And I just kind of say out to people, just to love who you love and to be yourself. It's only a short life. So I think it's very important. I'm lucky I've had that support. I know a lot of other people don't have that support, and it can be very lonely.
So the support that you have had, I mean, it kind of makes it all worthwhile, really, being enveloped in that sort of love and knowing that people are there for you no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a great family support around me. I have 5 sisters, mum and dad. They were in Paris and they're so proud. And they've got amazing memories, you know, with me winning a medal in front of them. It was my first time that I was competing in front of my sisters since 2012. So that was really special. And yeah, I have great support around me and my cousins and uncles and aunties in Ireland. I have great support. I'm very, very lucky, and they're so proud. And, you know, even with the, you know, coming out late and struggling with visual impairment, I've had a lot of struggles. Like, you know, I was anorexia when I was a teenager, and then I'm dealing with osteopenia now as an athlete, which is on the verge of osteoporosis. So if I can help show athletes, you know, and people just to eat well, because I eat well now, and that's why I'm so strong and so successful. But I struggle now with a condition that I'm dealing with, and take, you know, supplements for that. But food is very important and for overall health.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, you're an absolute inspiration. We're all so proud of you and everything you've overcome to get. I'm sorry, you must be exhausted carrying around those medals, because Martin said earlier on, you must be like a rapper with them all around your neck.
Look at that, yeah.
Look at them, it's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for joining us on Ireland AM this morning.
But
it's been an absolute delight. Oh my God, you've loads.
It doesn't end. Congratulations.
Congratulations once
so
again,
much.
Katie George.
Thank you for having me on this morning. Thank you.
We're all so proud of you.
I hope she gets over the COVID soon.
Yeah, and hopefully
Good luck
back,
at the World
back in the saddle
Championships.
shortly. And now, coming up next, we're tackling a topic feared by parents everywhere: head lice.
Don't!
We've got some tips for dealing with the pests after this short break.
Welcome back. The next chat is sure to have you scratching your heads, and we mean that literally.
We really do, yes. With the schools all back open for business, it can unfortunately only mean one thing. It's headlice season!
Yeah. Ooh, the buggers are running rife. So we want to know, how can we get rid of them? Here to help is parent coach Aoife Lee, her lovely assistant Jamie, who, by the way, doesn't have nits.
Yes.
But he's just here.
Yes.
As our model for today. Good to see you, Jamie.
We're all good, yeah. It is back to reality, isn't it? It is back to reality, and it is that time of year. Although we were saying it can be any time of the year, but we've already got an email home in the last week, to say that there's a case in the classroom, which is just a reality for so many families, isn't it?
Yeah, and it'll be the reality for the rest of the school year. So we may start, Aoife, first, which is, what are head lice?
Yeah, they are little tiny grey insects.
Little tiny. There they are.
There it is, lovely. Yeah, and they live in the hair, feed off the scalp. The female hatches her eggs 7 to 10 days later. She lays her eggs 7 to 10 days later. They hatch and they live in the hair for 20 to 30 days. And it doesn't matter whether you wash your hair twice a day, it doesn't matter the length, the condition, the colour, every person will, you know, are susceptible to getting lice, whether it be the smaller kids, teens, adults, it is the reality.
Oh.
So,
I just remember if the message came, the little note in the bag, there's head lice. Everyone in the house had to get treated.
Yeah, yes. And it is that extra vigilance on that. And you know, you mentioned there in the intro about the itchiness, that typically it's not about the movement on the hair, but more so it's an allergy. Look, I'm scratching here.
I know.
As I'm talking about it. And that's what it is. And, you know, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's not about the you know, whether, you know, you've unclean hair. It can happen to any of us.
Yes, they do not discriminate. They're equal opportunity head lice. What are the early signs that parents should look out for?
Well, itching and scratching. But if you have had an email home, or there's mention of it in school, or you know, among siblings or pals, what's really key, it's more to be preventative, first of all. That is tying up long hair, plaiting it up. We've had many a morning. You can get preventative sprays and all kinds of solutions. It's not going to necessarily be guaranteed to prevent, but it's avoiding sharing combs, towels, hats, bobbins, all the simple stuff that kids and among a family do.
But how many kids do that? They see somebody wearing a hat and go, oh, that looks cool, yeah.
I know.
And all of a sudden.
And if you do hear that there is head lice, it's about being extra vigilant and spot checking. And head lice love warm spots in the hair, so the nape of the neck, the crown of the head. If you've got if your child has a thick fringe, it's checking right in on the hairline. That's where they tend to like to hang out.
And behind the ears.
And behind the ears, yeah. So right down around the back, and like that, it can often have the panic mode. And I remember sitting at my own kitchen table in the house I grew up on, just been bored to tears with it all. But it is part of life for all of us, you know.
I'll never forget the smell of tea tree as when my mum was going through my hair. Yes. So there's no way to really prevent this from happening. It happens to everyone. But what can we do in terms of treatment once we realise that our child may have head lice?
Yeah, when it's highlighted and you know it's a reality, and before you treat anything, it's trying to get rid of as many live lice as possible, and the unhatched eggs, which are absolute buggers to get off because you know they attach to the piece of hair. It is taking the likes of this little comb that we're all too familiar with.
The agony of that.
These usually come with the products that you buy in the pharmacy, and really seek out advice. There's lots on the market on what you can use, but it starts off with removing as much live lice as possible. It is a reproduction ground. So, you know, it's trying to get rid as much as possible. And then it is combing and separating the hair, going from the root right the way down to the bottom of the hair. Now, obviously with Jamie's...
You're being very gentle. My mother would dig.
I know. Well, I mean, if you have a child, boy or girl, with long, thick hair, it can be... it can be really challenging.
The telly plans for the evening are gone.
Good light. And that's where you find them. They will all gather here. But there's a lot of, you know, hardcore, you know, sifting through.
There's knits that are like Rambo and they're hanging on.
They're hanging on for dear life. And I have here the likes of, you know, your regular, you could have a white muslin cloth or a kitchen cloth. And what I have found with kitchen paper was anything live, anything unhatched, you place on your, so you can see them very well on the kitchen cloth, and you destroy. So that they're well and truly gone. But what's key is to be as consistent as possible. Follow the instructions to a T, because if you miss out on one live one, they can reproduce again, and it is just the fun starts all over.
You mentioned the female laying how many eggs?
Oh, it's over 200 eggs. Oh! Yeah, they can. I know it. And look, I really,
and by the way, she
I've
doesn't
been
lay
there.
a load of eggs and stop. She keeps going.
Keeps going. Yeah, great crack. But
very productive.
It's knowing that there's no shame in it. It is literally part of growing up. It's part of our childhoods. We've all. Well, I know. I've had them before. So.
Should you do anything special to sheets, pillowcases, or anything if your child?
Oh yeah, because they need to get treated, don't they, as well?
Yeah. It's cleaning. It's stripping beds and pillowcases because. Like that, if you're sharing a room or you're kind of grabbing towels at home, that's where it can easily transfer as well. And the reality is kids are in so much close proximity, both can be at home, but also in the classroom. They can easily be quite transferable.
But just going through the washer and the dryer will be enough. We don't need to put any treatments in with it.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, and like that, do your research. But like that, there is so much on the market. It's what works for you. Even down to the treatments, they've got different consistencies, and it's what works.
Okay. I know there is the shampoo, but you mentioned sprays as well.
Yeah.
They're preventative, but not 100%.
Well, there is one particular preventative spray there. You see the nitty gritty, but there are lots of stronger products on the market, and again, it is speaking to your pharmacy and looking at what the range they have. But they will typically work to get rid. I don't believe that the more natural remedies really do the work. Well, that's just my own personal experience.
Yeah.
When you have these, you just want to get rid of them.
Of course you do.
You know,
Of course
so.
you do.
And if your child does have head lice, should you keep them out of school? Should you keep them out of school for a week?
Oh God, no.
No, because
We're only off the summer holidays, lads.
Yeah. They need to win.
No, there's no need for that. It's just about being proactive and consistent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Super.
Okay. I think you've earned a few donuts, Jamie.
I think you have, Jamie. Good
Certainly
job.
I think
Great
I'll
job.
do it.
Aoife, thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
For more information about parent support from Aoife, head over to parentsupport.ie.
We're going to take a quick break now, but
Scratch
still
our
to
heads.
come. Stop it. We're chatting to an Irish Emmy winner from home. Actually, I'm scratchy now. Just home from LA, plus we've got a gardening masterclass and a second round of brunch in the kitchen. We'll see you soon.
Yes, welcome back to the final hour of this morning's Ireland AM. I'm actually getting emotional just thinking about it.
Now coming up, what is this I see here on yonder table? What do I see before me?
You found my Emmy.
No, it's my Emmy. No, it's actually not my Emmy. I always thought I'd have this. I want to thank my mom. I want to thank God. No, actually, we'll be chatting with the Irish visual effects artist who lent me this for a few minutes. He made history recently at the Emmys after his series Shogun took home the most prizes ever, and I mean ever for a single show. He'll be sharing some stories from the red carpet shortly.
In fact, they're up for more Emmys as well, so that could become even bigger.
And I suppose I'll have to give him back this.
9 more.
I don't want to give it back.
It's heavy.
It's heavy, but it's lovely.
Okay.
I like
it's hers. She's not giving it back. Sorry. Earlier, Chef Martin O'Donnell made us our lunch, but now it's time for a sweet treat. What have you got?
I've got a lovely sweet poached pear and a little bit of Irish mead with a cream cheese mousse and a delicious crispy croissant and toasted hazelnuts afterwards.
Okay, we're starving. Absolutely.
The weight of it, my God. Shiva's also keeping busy. I bet you don't have any Emmys. I do.
Not yet, Elaine, but the night is still young. Autumn may be here, but we're already dreaming of those gorgeous spring blooms. We'll be showing you the gardening trend everyone is talking about, and everyone, bulb lasagna. And who better to teach us than Niall Macaulay? No pasta in this lasagna though, Niall.
Not a bit of pasta in sight, but this is such a good way to plant your bulbs. You're right, everybody's talking about it because now is the time to get your spring bulbs started, and this is going to mean that you get months of really nice colour in the late winter and into the spring.
Fabulous, can't wait to have a look at that. Thank goodness we've got a second hit of cooking because I am hungry after the mention of lasagna.
Now we'll have a final check on your morning paper, starting with the Irish Times, which goes with the headline, extra €3 billion in budget will boost housing. The paper reports that improved infrastructure to allow for more houses to be built will be covered in next month's budget, along with better water and energy services.
Front page of the Irish Independent leads with majority in Fine Gael expecting a November election in spite of Harris. The paper writes that several Fine Gael TDs, senators and general election candidates have said a November election is likely to be called soon after the budget on October 1st.
The Irish Examiner writes for its headline €1,000 to risk life ingesting drugs. The paper writes that vulnerable people are risking their lives by ingesting cocaine to smuggle the drug into Ireland on behalf of organised crime gangs for as little as €1,000.
On to the tabloids now. The Irish Daily Mail goes with Zelensky, stop delays and let us fire missiles into Russia. They write that the president of Ukraine yesterday demanded permission to fire long-range missiles into Russia as the latter continues to, quote, burn down our cities and villages.
The Irish Mirror leads with Ian Bailey is 100% innocent. The paper writes that Bailey's solicitor has blasted the Taoiseach's claim that the state failed to prosecute him for the murder of Sophie Toscan-du-Plantier.
The Herald writes for their front page, Kinahan hitman killed MMA star. The paper states that a hitman who once conspired to murder a rival to the Kinahan cartel has pleaded guilty to the murder of a well-known MMA fighter in Lithuania.
The Irish Star leads with I'm sorry, Dad. The paper publishes JLT and Byrne's message to his father, gangster James Jaws Byrne, who has been laid to rest alongside his son David.
And finally, the Irish Sun goes with Who Done It? The paper writes that at a recent court hearing, a farmer, Joseph Baldwin, denied flinging a bag of cow manure at Junior Minister Anne Rabbitte in what the paper calls the poo protest trial.
Now, earlier on, we were discussing a TikTok trend which is happening in Spain. If you go to the supermarket between 7 and 8 p.m. with an upside-down pineapple in your trolley, it means you're looking for a romantic rendezvous, OK? And I think you guys at home really enjoyed the story because lots of texting about it. Maggie says, since my daughter informed me of the pineapple situation, I can't bring myself to put one in the basket. Only tinned pineapple for me now. Now, just make sure it's the right way up, Maggie.
If it's upside down,
tin
Maggie
might do the same job.
Yeah, they could.
The poor woman can't even buy her pineapple for her pizza in case she gets hit on in the supermarket.
But you see,
poor Maggie.
people might be wandering around there between 7 and 8 thinking they're out of pineapples. Maggie's got her upside down pineapple tin.
Exactly.
So careful.
Tim says, I always thought gifting someone a pineapple pizza was a way to end a relationship. Hang on now there, Tim. Not start a new one.
Sorry, Tim, it's a deal breaker for me.
Same.
Pineapple on a pizza. No.
The end.
Shouldn't be there.
Lads.
Deal breaker.
Lads. But you've got the sweet and the savoury flavours together. They marry quite well. Don't they, Martin O'Donnell, excellent chef, award-winning, fabulous person, agrees with me. Anyway, what happened to the good old days of being awkwardly introduced to your ma's co-workers' kids? I swear it was the only way to meet someone who wasn't related to you back in those days. That's from Howie.
An arranged relationship that your man or mate in work have decided, we'll put our fellow, your daughter.
I have a lovely fella at home. You have a lovely daughter.
No good ever came of that sort of middling.
No, absolutely
Apparently,
not.
Paul's plan for the day is to head down to the shop and walk up and down every aisle in Duns with a trolley full of upside-down pineapples. We wish you the best of luck in your quest for love, Paul.
I can see it now. Tesco date nights will be the next big thing. We'll all be splitting a meal deal in the wine aisle. That's
doesn't sound too bad. I love a meal deal. And Phoebe says, I wonder what the Irish equivalent of that Spanish supermarket is, because it's a specific one. I don't know about you, but I don't want to meet my beau at Dunn's. But over an Avoca at Fallon and Byrne doesn't sound too bad.
What sort of notiony person now would you live there?
Phoebe's like, no to the pineapples and Dunn's, yes to an avocado and Fallon and Byrne's. I love it. Amy, you're my kind of gal. Or Phoebe, sorry,
For those
you're
who
my
might
kind
be
of gal.
heading to Spain, it's Mercadona between 7 and 8 p.m. if you can get an upside-down pineapple off the shelf.
Oh my God, it's the sad day when you have to go to a supermarket and flip a pineapple to find a partner, says Sarah. Before we know it, people will be grabbing grannies with a cart of Granny Smiths. There you go.
All right.
Now, we'd
love to know your thoughts.
Let us know your thoughts
What's on your shopping trolley today? Yeah.
And are you going to be wandering around a supermarket? Do you know what? I'd love to actually put a hidden camera in a supermarket now to see how many people are going out today with their pineapples upside down.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, if I see a stray trolley in a supermarket this weekend, I'll just be putting an upside-down pineapple in it just for the crack. Yeah.
Jenny will kill you. Can you imagine the headlines?
No,
Martin
not mine.
King looking for an affair.
Not mine. If I see somebody else's stray trolley, I'll just put it in for them.
Yes, I love it.
After the break, we'll be sitting down with the Emmy-winning Irish visual effects artist behind Shogun. We'll see you for that very soon. Yeah, imagine if it's a priest.
Very welcome back to Ireland. After winning 14 trophies at last Sunday's daytime Emmys, it's safe to say that Disney Plus series Shogun has been fairly well received.
Yes, back from the Emmys in LA, and joining us now is one of the show's Irish visual effects artists, Ed Bruce. But first, let's take a look at the show that won him his Emmy. Wow. Congratulations, Ed, firstly, on winning the Emmy. Shogun, the series is amazing. We're just looking at a small little piece there. When did you get back?
I got back on Tuesday afternoon, and it's kind of a bit of a whirlwind at the moment.
I'm just trying to figure out, did that go into your case or hand luggage?
No, that one's a hand luggage. I wasn't letting go of it, and Aer Lingus were fantastic. I mean, the second they saw it, they were sort of, you know...
Oh, right.
And we have photos. They took me up to the cockpit.
Did they upgrade you? That's what I want to know.
I was already up there, so it was
fantastic.
Already. Whatever about Aer Lingus looking after you, what was it like trying to get through security?
I don't know. I think it might be common in LAX that people leave with trophies. But no, everyone was fantastic.
Okay.
You know.
Now, what was it like as an experience, though, because Shogun is an excellent series, well-deserved win in the Emmys, because the work that goes into it is absolutely spectacular. But for someone behind the scenes, normally, what was it like actually going down the red carpet and walking, having all the attention on you that way? Was it a bit strange?
It was very surreal and strange. It's this unusual moment. It's really hard to explain. You're sat in this auditorium, there's probably 3,500 people. You're sat in your row with your plus ones, with my wife, Neve, and they announce, you know, and the winner is, and there was that little pause. And when they say the winner is Shogun, it's like someone injects you with adrenaline. You have this moment where you're just instantly on a high. You've got about 10, 15 seconds to get to the stage, 30 seconds to do a speech, and then you go into this process of just being whisked around the building, going through PR, photography. Straight away they interview you. I have no idea what I said on that interview. It was some bumbling and thanking everybody in screen scene and all the crew. And then they go and give you your trophy, which you signed for, and they teach you how to hold it. And then you go...
Oh, there's a way to hold it?
Okay, show us
how are you supposed to hold it?
Right.
Wings to your right.
Wings to your right?
Yeah, so it appears the way it does as the logo.
Exactly.
And then you go into this kind of press line and they take photos and it's look here, look there. There was a lovely moment. We had to go between two stories and we went in the lift, and there's 8 of us that won. And we got in the lift and we all just kind of went, oh my God, that just happened. And I managed to get a selfie just before the lift door opened, and it's the most wonderful selfie because we're all just naturally responding rather than the kind of press photography. And then you were back. It took probably half an hour to get back to your seat, so we could get back to our plus ones and start celebrating.
That actual moment must be... You said you got a shot of adrenaline, but so much work goes into... I know we see this kind of... the fruits that people can see of all the work that's gone into it. But how long were you actually working on that series to get from there to that?
Yeah, so that's the kind of important thing. You know, there's an individual aspect to winning the trophy, but the team and the collective, we run it for about 2.5 years. And there was probably 150 people in screen scene that worked on that, from all different, from artists to the technical to engineers, you know, even runners, the people that are just involved in making it. And what was great is every department on the project got to spend that time really investing in it. There's so many people that said this was like a passion project. Yeah. You know, the main supervisor, a guy called Michael Client, he was like one of the filmmakers. He was so invested. He spent time in Japan, and then it was shot in Canada. And then what we did as a team is we built Osaka, Japan in 1600s. So it was shot on a small backlot with a few buildings that were built, and then everything beyond that was visual effects. So we built this kind of 2 square mile landscape, rich with houses, buildings, temples, tenshus, palace grounds, a bay, ships, boats, people, horses, birds, you name it, so that it was authentic and real.
Okay.
So we can see the pictures running there. So this is kind of from concept to what it actually looked like, some of the art that you were inspired by. So within that, what is your role?
So my role is visual effects supervisor. So I'm kind of like steering the ship for visual effects. And I'm sort of responsible, basically, for its final look, to make sure that we all bring all our work together. Because as I said, there's 150 artists in our company. There's probably close to 1,000 artists across all the vendors that did the work. So Michael, he was the main soup. He manages all the independent teams to make sure everybody does the work right. So from the concept stage, you know, we're looking at historians' images because Osaka now to Osaka in 1600 is very, very different. And we're trying to stay completely authentic, you know, looking from materials, fabrics, even the digital people, the way Japanese women walked, the way their costume held them and walked. So everything was researched. You know, that was a large part of, I think, the whole show's success. From Justin and Rachel, the two showrunners, their sort of ethos was just, let's get this right. You know, really spend the time. And I think that's why it's done so well.
It's time well spent, because you got this, along with, what was it, 11 others that you won? No, 14.
It's 14 in total.
14 in total, yeah.
I think there's
12 was the
9
record.
more to go to tomorrow night's potentials, you know. So.
It is fantastic. You guys are based not in Canada, not in LA.
No.
You're based in Dublin.
Right next to the pepper canister on Mount Street.
Which is fascinating, but that's the way the world has gone.
It is, but I'm 22 years in screen scene, and the company's 36, 37 years, so we've been around for a while. You know, there's a lot of people that have been working, and we've been working on lots of shows. From the first project in 2010 was Game of Thrones, and we've just, you know, again, it's behind the scenes, behind the camera, working away. There's so much talent in Ireland. Like, you know, I was just saying to someone backstage, the amount of departments and disciplines, every time there's an award show, you can go behind the scenes, production designers, editors, and then obviously the cast. And as a country, we punch well above our weight.
We do, because you go back to even the days I was in college, a lot of my colleagues would have gone into VFX editing, etc. And you go to, some moved to screen scene, maybe avid editors were just actually the first inception then.
Yeah.
And now we've come so far in terms of the technology and the graphics and the computers and CGI and everything, but you have to marry what is kind of in the brains of all these creatives, translate it onto the scene through all these physical sets and what is made on computer imagery. I mean, the amount of talent in this country, whatever but acting talent, behind the scenes talent is astounding.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, we spend quite a lot of time in kind of different disciplines, and what a lot of people don't know about visual effects, yes, we're on a computer, but it's the artistry. It's always about the artistry and the craft. And, you know, for example, we do a lot of physics in visual effects, because like fluid and water and fire. So there's a science behind it. So you have such an array of talents with different types of backgrounds. You know, Screen Scene and we've been really strongly investing in training and bringing up young people in Ireland, you know, get them in, train them. Most of our core team are people we trained from 10 years ago, 9 years ago, 8 years ago. You know, the government, Screen Ireland, they're heavily investing in making sure that we keep renewing the Irish talent rather than lose them when they go to different countries.
Do you have a whole team that has to work to LA time? Because there's such a massive time difference
there
between...
There is a fun time difference. Most of our client meetings and calls are from 5 till sort of 7 at night. All the clients are very good and very respectful, you know, because it is such an international business now. The venues are all over the world.
Look, we remember the movie The Last Samurai, Tom Cruise and Billy Connolly, and the good movie that it was. This is Shogun. This is being fleshed out. We're getting this series, but there's more on the way.
There is more on the way. I think as the show was in production, we could see it was going to be successful. Again, the moons aligned with all the departments. Every head of department felt incredibly blessed because we had the right ingredients at the right time. As I say, the showrunners, they were so invested in making sure this is right. I think they took nearly 4 years to write it from the book, to adapt it. So FX, our client, and Disney basically said, let's greenlight season 2 and 3. So we're waiting for Justin and Rachel to write it. But
I know, I'm raging. It hasn't even been written yet, and I'm dying to see what happens next because it ended on such an amazing... I'm not going to give anything away, but it's such an amazing series. Now, you've worked on that, but I mean, everyone has, I suppose, every creative has a director perhaps they want to work with. And you've worked recently with Ridley Scott.
Yes.
Gladiator 2.
Yes, Gladiator 2. That's
their
out
own
in
Paul
November.
Mescal as well.
Yes.
Screen scene.
Well,
so tell us, what can you tell us about that?
I can't tell you anything. So
come
you'll have to wait
on.
till November.
How much did you have to do? Was it on a scale of Shogun or even more epic?
It was a smaller scale. We did our piece, and I can't tell you what our piece is because it's very specific to the story. But, you know, it was, again, I only had one daily where I got to interact or see Ridley, and he is an incredible talent for someone in it, not just his age, but to keep going and keep, you know, making these films is just phenomenal.
Of course, the Penguin as well.
The Penguin's a big one for us. I'd only finished that about a week and a half ago. And I can tell you now, I think Colin might be sitting there in a year with one of these.
Okay, with one of those.
As soon as he put on because I don't know if you've seen the Batman film or any trailers, but when he put on the prosthetics and the suits and the makeup and he switches, it's mesmerising.
Yeah.
It's a stunning performance.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
So I'm very
We were
excited
told
about it.
who the character was based on as well. Yeah, so it's loosely based on. So he doesn't look like Colin Farrell.
Oh, and just even the way he switches from Colin, a very nice, to this
The malevolence in his eyes is something to
it's
behold.
fantastic.
Listen, it's been an absolute
congratulations.
pleasure. Thank you for letting me hold your Emmy. I'm very delighted.
I'll take it back though. I think you were holding it
It's
quite tightly.
his, Elaine.
Someday,
You have to let it go.
Thank you so much for
Great to
joining
see
us.
you.
And of course, a reminder that to see more of Ed's work, the first full season of the Emmy-winning series Shogun is available to stream now on Disney+. And do yourself a favour, watch it. It is spectacular.
Still to come this morning, there's apparently something sweet cooking in the kitchen. Yes, it's a dinner show, huh? It's a brunch show. We'll see you for that in just a few minutes.
Very welcome back to Ireland AM. Earlier on, Chef Martin O'Donnell, who won over the crew with his recipe for a tasty courgette risotto.
And now he's back for more. Martin, what do we have for dessert?
This morning I got a beautiful, simple poached pear dessert with a cream cheese mousse and a lovely croissant crisp. So I'm going to start with the croissant crisp, and it is a cheats version of a croissant crisp.
You're cheating.
I don't even know what a croissant crisp is.
So these are just shop-bought, frozen, and this one is frozen. I just took it out of the freezer 2 seconds ago.
Okay.
And what we do is we slice it that way.
Okay.
Okay. And we place it on our oven-baked tray and paper.
While raw, while frozen, we chop it in half.
Okay. You don't have to be making the pastry yourself and doing all that.
No.
razzmatazz,
And it's
'cause
such
that
a
takes
lovely way,
time.
because you can actually do these in advancing, maybe even the night before a party or whatever. Keep them in an airtight container and they'll stay lovely and fresh.
Great.
So I have a second tray here. So we just put more paper on top so they don't stick. And there is
Squish them.
And we squish them, yeah.
Oh, that sounds
But it's
great
like
fun.
it's such
Proper squishing.
Yeah, it's give it to us, yeah. Even if you had a weight or something, you could stick it on top, yeah. Huh? In the oven, 170, about 20 minutes. Depending on the oven, you can take them out and have a look and see. Okay, give them another 5 minutes. But the idea is just to squish them.
And you want them to be crispy when you take them out. Is that what you're looking for?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, and golden
Like a
and
biscuit,
lovely. Yeah,
almost,
yeah. So it's like a cheat version of a crispy biscuit.
Okay, fantastic.
So we're going to start a very simple stock syrup for poaching pears. In here I have sugar, lemon peel, star anise, juniper, cloves, clove powder. And I'm going to use a little bit of apple juice.
Delicious.
So again, it's an unsweetened version of apple juice.
Now,
I'm going to turn him up.
Did you make that apple juice yourself or did you buy it?
Pick the apples and juice. No, I didn't know. No time for that this morning. And this is a lovely Irish product. It's a mead. So mead is a fermented honey drink, alcoholic. So it's only 10, 12, 14%, depends on it. It's very old, so it's one of the first alcohol drinks that was ever produced in the world.
The Vikings used to like it, didn't they?
They did, yeah, and even
And the
before
monks
that.
used to like it.
Yeah, so this one is wild red, and so you could use a nice port, you could use a lovely red wine, but this is a lovely little sweetness. So I'm going to add the both of them in there.
And where would you purchase mead, or where did you find mead in this?
In a normal off license.
Really?
Yeah. So it's such a lovely alternative to a strong alcohol. Lovely with ice and fresh berries, because it's only 10 or 12%, so it's great. Depending on which one you get. Even at Christmas, we use the mulled wine for poaching pears.
Yes.
So you can use anything, really. It's sugar, spices, whichever you prefer, but I'm using that lovely mead. It gives that lovely berry flavour. We've got some lovely hard pears, and they're hard.
They have to be hard.
They're hard, yeah. So we've just peeled them, nice and simple, peel down the way. If you had a
So then Martin shows me how to peel a pear. God love you.
Never know.
I was given the brief, Elaine.
Explaining baby steps.
If you had a melon baller, a little thing that scoops out the bottom, you take out the seeds and it'll look nice and pretty. If you don't, you can just cut them straight in half. And then you can take your spoon and take out the seeds.
Okay.
So you're just...
Is it important to do that beforehand, or
It is,
can
because
just
you don't
poach
really
the
want
whole
to
thing?
eat the seeds.
Okay.
In fairness, like, yeah. And again, in they go. And we get a second one. So it's quite simple, and they can last for maybe a week in the fridge if you did them. So you could have them done in advance.
After poaching, that is.
After poaching, yeah.
Are you taking the stalk off that as well?
Because I like the stock for
Oh,
presentation.
sorry,
Excuse
look
me.
at you.
Presentation.
No?
You know,
he's a professional.
Yeah, these
Yeah.
award-winning chefs, they have to have everything looking just so...
Jesus, you're harsh this morning.
Oh, no, I love it, Martin. You're my favourite.
I know, just needy. I'm going to start a little warmer pan. Then in this one, I have it done. So it was, I have ice and sugar to add. I have 300 grams of cream cheese and 300 grams of cream, normal whipping cream.
Okay.
2 or 3 tablespoons of ice and sugar, whichever
however sweet you want it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So it just takes a couple of seconds and literally you just turn it on until it resembles whipped cream. Now I had it done already so it wouldn't be quite as noisy.
Yeah.
I'm just mixing that sugar through it, through the icing sugar, yeah. So that was that one. I'm going to turn off my pears down to 3 or 2 so they're on a really light simmer. Now obviously you'd have a few more in here, you'd have paper covering it so it keeps them down. If they're floating, you could take a little saucer and place the saucer in there as well, so it keeps your pears below the liquid.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, so they are floating. You can see they're floating at the top.
They won't cook properly otherwise.
A little butter paper is perfect. You stick it on top, you put a tiny saucer on it, and you're thinking about 10 to 15 minutes, and the wrap and the paper, the butter comes in.
Okay.
Yeah, quite simple.
It's in the name.
Righto.
No,
Shiva, you take over here.
I have a small pan just getting hot here with a little bit of plain sunflower oil, and I'm going to do a little crumble. So I've got some pumpkin seeds. Love pumpkin seeds.
Yeah, so do I.
But their flavours actually changes when you toast them.
Yes.
Completely different. So they go that lovely crispy. They're like little crisp nuggets of just goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good for you as well.
Really good for you. Yeah. So toasted pumpkin seed, a little bit of sea salt. So that sea salt's going to work well with our pear and our cream.
Yeah.
And here I've toasted hazelnuts that I did this morning and literally just bashed them till they're broken.
Okay.
We're going to add those in as well.
And this is almost like a savoury aspect of this dish, isn't it?
It is. And also the crunchy crispiness as well that comes through gives you some lovely texture. Okay. So it's such a simple dish. Once you have your pears done, you have your cream ready. You just let that down there.
And you have your croissants.
And we have our croissants in the oven that we're going to come to now. So I have some done just from earlier. So when you take them out of the tray, they should be nice and flat.
Oh, wow.
And nice and crispy.
That's so cool.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
It looks like they got run over. I'm sure they won't taste like they got run over.
Got run over on the
flat.
way up this morning, yeah.
Squish croissants, we love it.
And here I have some lovely pears that I had done last night.
So how long should you poach them for?
It depends whether you're cutting them in half or not.
Yeah, if they're already halved?
8-10 minutes, again, depends. But you can just stick your knife in them and you kind of want them to be like a cooked potato, just a little bit under, because they will continue. So they're not too soft. You want a little bit of texture. But again, it depends on how big you cut them. So we're just frying off our crunchiness. We have our plate, so we're going to start to build our plate. So we've got our lovely cream cheese mousse.
Cream cheese. This is exactly the kind of dish I would order on a fancy brunch place now. It sounds phenomenal.
I love poached pears.
But it's such that lovely season. They're really coming into it.
You don't see them everywhere. It's such a simple thing to do.
Isn't it? It's such a lovely, kind of quick, easy idea. We're just going to get these toasted. We have our poached pear here. So again, that pinkness is
the colour is
just
beautiful.
coming through.
Look at that.
Isn't that lovely?
It doesn't look real almost.
This entire meal is perfect for you this morning.
I
Between
know.
Your main course and our brunch dessert.
He did it on purpose, though. He's very good.
No, I got your message. Cook this.
I sent a big rant of an email.
Cook this or you're never back. I'm joking. So
I'm a vegetarian. Yes, we know.
I know. Sorry. I'll try not to say it in future.
So you can actually hear them just little pop, pop. And
is that the pumpkin seeds?
That's the pumpkin seeds,
Wow.
yeah. So it actually transforms, if you're doing any salads at home, toasting them like that for a couple of minute or two in the pan transforms the flavour of them and the texture. Because if you eat them raw, they're kind of chewy.
Yeah.
Right.
So nice and simple.
Okay.
Hopefully they'll...
Lovely. Okay. And then just the croissant, is it?
They're popping like popcorn.
Oh, this is excellent.
We have our lovely little croissant. So we have our pastry.
And
agus our blachana.
Blachana on a brick foster now.
Lads, we have reached peak notions.
We have
peak
really.
notions
Right.
on this.
Sunflowers. Ladies,
thank you very much.
enjoy your breakfast.
Let's have a little taste of this now.
So simple autumn poached pears, little Irish mead.
So that is so good.
Cream cheese mousse.
This is sublime.
No, it's bonkers good. Like, it's bananas how good this is. I haven't even tasted the croissant yet.
I'm going to kidnap you one of the days
Yeah.
and make you cook for me
You're
forever and
coming
ever.
home with me,
This is
Martin.
amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Martin,
Poor
thank you
man,
so much.
he's never going to come back again.
Now, as always, full recipe details are up on our website, or of course, you can visit Martin over at Blackrock Cottage anytime you like.
This is really, really nice. After the break, we're setting Shiva off to work in the garden.
Again?
Yeah. See you in a few minutes. I'm going to finish it.
Welcome back. To all you aspiring gardeners watching at home, we've got something for you.
Yes, and while it may be autumn outside, we're already thinking ahead to those beautiful spring blooms.
Oh, yeah. Bit of warmth. Although it's not too bad today.
No, it's a bit windy.
A bit windy. Here with the new trend to get our gardens prepped is Niall McCauley from @Niall Gardens. Good to see you again.
Morning. How are you doing?
We're great.
We're okay. We're making bulb lasagna.
Bulb lasagna.
Okay.
Except there isn't a lasagna sheet in sight.
The Italians aren't going to like this now, the commandeering up there.
No,
Dish.
I'm not sure they are.
Okay, so
But it's gonna be worth it.
What is a bulb lasagna?
So we're all used to planting spring bulbs. You know, you get your daffodils and they pass and it's kind of done. But buying pots and compost is expensive, and you want to get more bang for your buck out of each pot. So what it is, it's layered planting, just like a lasagna. But what it means is that it's going to start flowering late winter, like January, February time. And then you're going to get successive flowering of different things.
All right.
So that you're going to get months of planting. It means you use less space, so it's perfect if you've got like a little garden or a balcony. It's going to save money, and it just means you get knockout colour for months.
Okay. All right.
So it's just a more efficient way, really, of planting for your spring. Okay.
Yeah.
But we need to be doing it now.
Now is the time to plant your spring bulbs.
Oh.
Getting them done now, and this is when you get the best selection in the shops, because the later you leave it, all the good stuff gets taken.
Okay.
So get out and get the good bulbs, even if you don't get them into the ground for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Oh, Woodies will go crazy today now.
Yeah.
Good bulbs are important. How important is good soil?
So the great thing about these is that effectively, certainly for this spring, you could almost plant them in anything and they're going to flower really nicely. Yeah, because the great thing about a bulb is that it's like its own little power station. It's got all of the nutrition, everything it needs is ready to go. Believe it or not, the flower is already in an embryonic stage in this. So any compost, it's going to get going. Add a little bit of grit though, to give it a little bit of drainage. But other than that, just a general peat-free multi-purpose is going to be fine.
Okay, great. So we're going to start and do ours soon, but what are the other tools people will need if they're doing this themselves at home?
Okay, so all you're going to need is your selection of spring bulbs, and what you're going to want is something like a tulip, a late flowering large bulb, something middle flowering, like a little daffodil, little narcissus, and then something that's going to start really early, like a crocus or an iris or a snowdrop or something like that.
Okay.
And we're going to plant them in layers, and I can show you.
Oh, wow.
This is how you're both going to be planting.
Right.
That's very neat and tidy looking.
Isn't it?
Yes.
But this is what's clever about it, is you can pack loads of bulbs in and each one's going to find its way between the other one.
Oh.
Here are your little early spring bulbs. They're going to pop up, they're going to flower, they're going to die away just as your daffodils are popping through. They're going to flower, die away, then you're going to get your tulips.
Okay.
And this is what you're going to be creating in those pots.
So we've got ground floor, second floor.
Where's the elevator?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All you need is a lift.
Yeah.
So, first layer are your tulips.
Okay.
So, Martin, I've got you two of my favourite tulips. They're a really bright coloured mix. That's called Doll's Minuet, and I've cut the bags open for you.
I did notice this. And which way do they go in?
So,
Does
they
it
go
really
in
matter?
pointy side up.
Okay.
And the flat side down. Those are the roots.
Is this my one?
And do I need to push them down into
These
the
are
pot?
mine. Okay,
Yeah.
super.
So start packing them in. So, Martin, yours is going to be a demonstration of how you can get loads of colour. So those are Doll's Minuet. They're magenta.
Yeah.
And I've also got you ones called Black Parrot.
And do they all go in?
I would put them in about a bulb's width apart. So you
Okay.
can pack them in. So the same width as each bulb apart. Shiva, what I'm making you, or what you're making, is something very tasteful. It's all white. Every single one is going to be white.
How did you know I got married this year? How did you know?
See, I do my research.
Sort of my bridal era. Okay, so it's going to be all white. Love
Exactly.
it. Love it.
And you let me know when you've done that. And what I'm going to show as well is we're doing 3 layers here, but you don't even need to do 3. You can just do 2. If you have a little shallow container, like the one that I have here, you can just go with 2 layers. So rather than tulips, I'm just going to put in daffodils.
Okay.
And I'm just going to put in crocuses, and it's going to be all yellow.
Right, first layer done.
Brilliant. So
I got mine done.
You've got about 10 to 15 centimetres of compost in the bottom of the pot.
Yeah.
And then your tulips. So now, if you want to each grab one of those pots of compost, tip it in, and cover them up. And that's about 10 to 15 centimetres of compost. Pack it down. Lovely.
Okay.
Right. And for you, Shiva, I've got you my favourite daffodil in the world. This is Sir Winston Churchill, right? They don't look like daffodils, do they?
No, not really. No, they're very frilly.
Yeah, they're really frilly. They almost look like a cream egg. but the fragrance is unreal.
Love it.
Right? So you can use them as cut flowers. And Martin, I've got you little miniature yellow daffodils called Tete-a-Tete.
Okay. So we're getting stuck in here.
Yeah.
And again, is it like a bulb apart?
A bulb apart.
With the hairy bit into the...
With the hairy bit down and the pointy bit up.
Okay.
Yeah, things
Come on,
to
keep
say.
it clean, lads.
Exactly.
We're dealing with soil.
So, I'm popping in my daffodils
This
here
is
as
what I have
well.
to work with every week.
It's Elaine has just entered, so she's got us going. Right, okay.
So when you've got that layer in, then we're going to put in some more compost on top.
Okay.
So you see, it's just like building a lasagna.
Yes, I was going to say, it's just like it really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now we do the next layer of our...
Perfect. Another layer of compost.
Okay.
And if I lift this up again, you'll see that what you've got now is you've got your layer of tulips, a layer of daffodils, and now what we're going to do is put your very last layer
Are these my little...
on.
Oh, no. Yeah, these are my
last layer
It's
already.
Your little white ones are
of course.
there. So those are called Jeanne d'Arc.
Oh,
like
love
Joan
it.
of Arc.
Oh,
Pop them in.
Okay.
And Martin, you've got a lovely pale blue one. So what's really nice about this is that you're going to have a succession of white flowered plants all the way through spring.
Love it.
But Martin, yours is going to be pale blue in late winter. Then
Right.
it's going to turn to yellow in the middle of spring. And then once late spring's coming, you're going to get that hit of dark purple and magenta.
And Niall, could you put in too many, or is that a thing? Is that a possibility? Is that a mistake you could
For
make?
something like this, I would always say just pack them in really tightly.
Okay.
Because you're
Get
wanting
them
a
all
really
in.
nice
That's
display.
what Mel said.
Okay. Fabulous. This is so enjoyable. Niall, thank you so much for teaching us
I've enjoyed it too much.
bulb lasagna. Never heard about it before. To find out more garden how-tos, head on over to Niall Gardens on YouTube.
Okay, earlier we threw together a cheeky risotto in the kitchen, and here's how we did it. Combine 2 grated courgettes, spices and gram flour in a bowl and mix well until it forms a batter-like consistency. Finally dice 2 other courgettes and place in a preheated oven to roast for 5 minutes. While it roasts, stir your rice into a heated pan with onions, butter and wine and simmer over a low heat for about 20 minutes. Deep fry your battered courgettes until crunchy and serve on top of your risotto. Now, coming up tomorrow, could your child be the next Harry Potter? We'll be looking inside the casting process for the new series with 2 top industry talent agents.
We'll be meeting the Irish magician who at 15 already has a Guinness World Record to his name. Cillian O'Connor will be dazzling us with a trick.
We're also looking at the process for attaining citizenship here in Ireland as an immigrant.
All that plus the news, sport and weather you're waking up to. Ireland AM is back tomorrow from 9 with 1 less tablet.
Sorry, no, it's good. It's fine.
It's grand. It's grand. It's grand. Thank you very much for getting in touch with us as well.
Do you know what happened? She got far too excited by pineapples because we had loads of texts in about pineapples.
What are they saying?
She's heading to her supermarket later on.
Yes.
Nothing must be sadder than putting the pineapple back on the shelf after an unsuccessful swinging set. That's
imagine
because apparently, if you go around
pushing
to a supermarket in Spain with an upside down pineapple, it means that you're looking for love. Basically,
And it has
It's
to
the
be done
next
between
single.
7 and 8 in the evening.
It's like a fruit-related Tinder.
Could you imagine
Pretty
bringing?
much, yeah.
Imagine bringing your pineapple back.
Do you know what? That'd be so sad.
That's
That'd
what
be
Pat
so
said.
sad.
It's official. Love is dead as pineapple sales hit record products. And Paul says Noel says the second I heard the news, I went out and bought a pineapple to see what would happen. 3 days later, I am still single and the owner of a stale pineapple.
Well, you got to eat it if you're not going to use it like that. Then come on, don't let it go to waste, guys.
But it's going to be a bitter taste.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
going to be a
it'll leave
bitter
a bad.
taste. You got your
bad taste in
pineapple,
your mouth.
oops, and it still didn't work. Nah.
Yeah.
You're not eating
Well,
that
I know what we're all doing this evening.
But apparently it's nothing new, according to an anonymous texter. It's been around the swinging sessions since the 60s. So there you go.
How do you know?
No name
No
knows
name
what
on
he's
that
talking
text
about.
for whatever
Why?
reason. Yeah. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.